coming to you live here in Sunshine Coast in the north of Brisbane. We are, of course, here with day number 1, the first day of the DreamHack Masters Winter Open Qualifiers for the Oceania Rest of Asia region. This time, a much more stacked qualifier as, once again, ANZ champs will not offer that seed into the main event or the closed qualifiers. I'm, of course, your host, Yaku of the Zaku, and with me today is someone who has not slept since Wednesday. He is, of course, el repartidor que no deja de planificar el momento en que se registra en los torneos. Light_VIP. How we doing, Light?
What is up, Yaku? Yes, we are back, and we have a very stacked, insane bracket, and we are torn. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you want to have a look at said brackets, and it's insane. We have a lot of pretty solid round 1 matches, a bit of an unfortunate Duckling team kill in the middle of all of it. And, like, as much as I would love to follow some of our Ducklings right now, it looks like, honestly...
It's so juicy.
The Duckling matches probably won't start to get interesting until future rounds. And there is one series that leads into another that stands out heavily. And I feel like I would be doing a disservice to the people, to the community, to everyone worldwide if we don't follow Piglet versus Peppy.
Oh yeah, we would be trialed by the UN.
Oh yeah, 100%.
We didn't do that. They were just, no trial actually, just immediately. 100 years.
God, yeah, Yaku would get deported, which could be a good thing.
I guess it depends where they deport me to.
I guess so. Jesus Christ.
They deport me back to Yishu, and then
that would not be good. Oh god. But yeah, there are a lot of really solid matches going on right now, a lot of very solid players. I don't really recall if there's anyone missing, but I think one of the big things is that Risky has made his return this season.
That he has, probably the biggest surprise to me, since he has talked a lot about, retiring, focusing on other things. I believe it was DreamHack Spring. He said he wanted it to be his last, but then he realized he was seeded to the closed qualifiers of DreamHack Summer, and he was like, all right, I swear, this time will really be my last. But now he's in the open qualifier, so...
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
that's the thing, right? Like, I mean, for whatever reason, we're not too familiar with I'm not too familiar with Risky and like what has like motivated him and how he like why his return is a thing. But it's cool to see him here in the open qualifiers. We'll see how he does. Competition is going to be very fierce. The potential Risky versus Pez rematch from that show match.
Ooh.
It's there, mate. The drama.
It is. Oh, it could all line up. Could all line up. It wouldn't be a qualifying match, though, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, it wouldn't. So it wouldn't be a best of 5. Feels bad, man. As we are getting set up here, I was just given the info. Ah! Oh boy. Oh boy.
Come on.
Peppy
we're talking about.
I was in the middle of making a lobby, and then I was invited to a lobby, so I bugged out. Didn't go well. Oh boy, but we are being invited in, and oh wow, mate, TVZ to start things off, mate.
That is probably the best way you can start things off. Tis the most popular matchup to watch for a reason. I hate playing it though, personally, right now.
Understandable. And
actually, I'm enjoying it a bit. I'm reintegrating myself back in. So
fair
I
enough.
lose every single one of them. But.
Oh boy, but as we can see on the screen right here, right now, we have 2 of the best Aussies already facing off. Feels bad, man. Funada the admin for the seeding as we have our first series.
Shaking my head. That we do. And we are, of course, starting off our first series on Lightshade LE. We're in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, starting all the way in the bottom right-hand corner. We have the green player coming down from the land of Australia. I remember he told us which city he's from. Or he told me which city he's from, but I just don't remember it right now. Gonna be representing Opus V. He is, of course, Peppy. Otherwise known as Peppy.
God damn it. Yeah, yes it is. We have to tell.
We're not refs.
Yep. When we are not, but Peppy is on it because spawning in the top left-hand corner of Lightshade LE. Oof, there's a reason why these open qualifier brackets are arguably harder than the closed qualifier. We have the Australian Terran. He is blue, representing Team Opus V. It is Piglet.
Yeah, gonna be the same format as it is for every single one of these open qualifiers. 2 of them, but only 2 players qualify in a single elimination bracket. And I mean, it's just so much stacked this season than it was last season, ain't it? Like,
oh boy, it's brutal, mate. It's absolutely brutal. Like, as they were saying right now, it's shocking that one of these players already is going to be eliminated in the very first round. And this is why our boys Oreo and StarCraft have been taking advantage of this. Play in the ESL Open Cups for better seeding, people.
just like that.
Just like
he's already got a buy in round 1.
I thought you were gonna say
it. He basically has a buy in round 2 as well.
I'm glad you said it. I was gonna but yes, that's why Oreo has a very much like an easy couple of rounds because of that. Play in ESL Open Cup Asia, ESL Open Cup Americas. This will affect your seeding for DreamHack qualifiers.
Of course, Starduck has the easiest path of all.
Oh yeah, well he was all over that, mate.
He's already there. He's already in the close qualifier.
Oh god, he is.
He's still in the arcade right now.
I wouldn't be surprised. Shaking my head, Starduck. Oh god. As we are slowly getting into this series, I think what I'm really curious about is what is Piglet's TVZ looking like at the moment? Obviously, last year, to our detriment, he was known for playing mech and doing nothing but mech for the longest time. But this year, he has really like spread his wings or spread his pigtails. Question mark? He spread his chanchos? Question mark? And he has been able to diversify, and his bio play is looking really good.
It really has been. Fortunately, we've mostly been catching his TVP more than anything over in ANZ Champs recently, and that has been absolutely insane. One of the few players who still goes Marine Tank versus Phoenix Colossus and is able to win with that.
Yeah, it's it's insane what he has been able to accomplish over in ANZ Champs. Again, like beating Probe, beating Pez, it's crazy. What is TVZ? You know, we got our eye on it, and we were talking about mech earlier. It's definitely a very real possibility after this opener.
I hope it ain't. I hope that's not what we get, but it is a very real possibility. A Fusion Core first. I haven't seen that in a couple of years.
What?
Well, not first, but Fusion Core opening is what I mean.
There we go. Yeah, we actually saw this earlier today. I say earlier today, actually yesterday in the Latin America qualifiers. So, you know, it has been seeing a resurgence here. But seeing it here in the Oceania region, as you said, it's been quite a while since the days of Hut that we've seen this. So, yeah, a nice cheeky opener that Piglet is going for. And unfortunately, Peppy hasn't seen this yet. He's dipping in. Ooh! He's being deceived.
Or is he, because that upgrade did cancel? I mean, I guess the assumption is
it's finished.
He was hoping that it finished.
Yeah. Well, as in he wants Peppy to think it finished, right?
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, he does. Probably.
I don't know. I mean, he's just anyway.
There, so he's gonna
Oh, feels bad, man. I did like that Peppy was that Piglet was trying to deceive Peppy a little bit there, but at least Peppy is able to see everything, and now he can prepare for the BCs.
Yeah, Piglet definitely being a little bit greedy here when it comes to his opening, but He should still be able to get away with a lot, especially with that armory on the way.
Oh, definitely, as it is going to be on the way. So we're going to be seeing some BCs and some Hellbats. So a lot of aggression going to be coming out from Piglet. What do we have to defend? We have a decent amount of Queens, but it's all about positioning. And again, like you could argue, the Queens are going to be necessary to defend against the Hellbats.
Oh, they absolutely would be. You do not want to run Zerglings into that. And I was about to ask a question, but I already have my answer. Is Piglet going to multi-prong into BC or use them to support his Hellbats? He's supporting the Hellbats. He's keeping them all alive, even pre-splitting in case he saw the Banelings. Doesn't need to yet, but he's just making sure he's as safe as possible. He does not want to throw away this lead. The Banelings are trying to find a really good connection, but look at how spread out these Hellbats are like.
They are spread out, but that also means that they're not dealing that much damage. The Queens are powering on forward. The BC is forced back, and all these Hellbats will be cleaned up.
Yeah, forces all to transfuse energy on these Queens. If that BC had a lot more health on it, or if there were a couple more Hellbats, then I think it would have been just enough to break Peppy. But it isn't. So Peppy, he is like a spring. He's jumping back, and he's going for a bit of a counterattack.
Oh yeah, that he is. Unfortunately, there is a full wall. Do we have a Bailey nest? We do. So he could try and bust on through if he wanted to. He is. I love it. He smells blood in the water. There are no tanks. There's no Widow Mines. There are only Hellbats, so he could bust in and get into that mineral line. Up.
Really good, but the Banshee Singular is able to catch a couple of these. And Peppy, he morphed in just the right amount he needed to bust on through. If he loses even 2 of these Banelings, won't quite be enough. Actually, it will be to break down 1.
Yeah.
Supply depot, but not much to do anything from there.
Exactly.
Not enough to do anything from there.
Unfortunately, there weren't enough Banelings to help deal with the Hellbats, and there was a Banshee as well. Meanwhile, we do see a follow-up scout, and we were talking about this as it was happening. Mech is a very common transition from a BC opener, and that's exactly what we're getting. Oh.
Oh boy, we are going to be strapping ourselves in for a bit of a longer one.
Aye.
I say that, but Peppy isn't typically one to take it to the late game.
Definitely.
He does enjoy his Ling Bane.
Yaku, also, I would request, could you move your mic in front of your mouth a little bit? Yeah, you do sound further away.
Yes.
For some reason. Oh,
Yes.
I think that's better.
Wait, you know what? I'm going to do something I've never done before.
Oh?
I'm going to increase my gain in Microsoft Mic
Oh, that does not sound good. I didn't think that's necessary at all. Oh, God. So yeah, let us.
I'm just bumping it up by about 5.
Yeah.
Maybe. Is that
Alright.
better?
Can you?
Yeah. Is that better?
I think so. Ooh, as we are slowly getting into this, oh god, this is what we're used to. This is a solid 2020 Piglet right now. Oh god.
He saw me with Cassidy. He was like, "Don't worry, I won't confuse you guys. I'll do what you know." Very slow-paced, sort of laid-back siege mech style. Which, if Peppy, does commit to a lot more run-bys like he typically likes to do, this will be beneficial for Piglet. But as you see, Peppy, he is not stubborn. He is going for an infestation pit immediately. He's saying, "I am more than willing to take this to the late game, Piglet. I don't want to, but I will if I have to."
Yeah, exactly. Has all the upgrades are on the way. Hive is on the way as well, so we can eventually get into those corruptors, into those brood lords, whichever kind of composition he favors here at the moment. And right now, the name of the game for Peppy at least is to delay this 4th base for as long as possible.
He's doing a pretty good job of doing a pretty good job of it in the north, at least. If you want it to be really annoying, you could borrow some units.
I guess he could. Borrow would be an amazing upgrade to get right now. Meanwhile, I do appreciate that Peppy from here is double expanding. We have another CC on the way, so we can try and take multiple expansions from here. Meanwhile, ooh, this is the correct response. We're getting infestors out from Peppy, maybe even Neural Parasite to help deal with these Thors.
Thors, BCs, tanks, basically any mech unit that isn't Hellbats is ripe for the picking. Gonna be such a damage sponge for the rest of the Zerg army, really.
Oh yeah. Oh boy, and we'll see if it's going to be enough, as it looks like Piglet's army is going to be able to push away this Red Ravager. The base is going to be coming down for Piglet as well. There isn't really much that Peppy can do to stop this for now, but for now, you know, those infestors, they're still on the way.
Yeah, very much the operative word. Going for a Greater Spire, which I definitely appreciate in a Zerg versus mech game.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a bit of a delicate dance, trying to make sure that the Brute Lords aren't in range of the Thors, or at the very least, they're able to utilize some dead air that the mech army doesn't have vision at.
Yeah, it can always be awkward fighting Thors with Broodlords. I mean, that's why you also need the Infestors. So Broodlord Infestor is going to be making a bit of a comeback here today. As we are losing.
Oh no!
I mean, it's what you need for mech. Oh boy.
And we'll see who's the first to pull the trigger. It looks like Piglet does want to at least be active on the map. I can't imagine he's going for a full-on push, but as I say that, he is maxed out. +2 is about to finish up very, very soon.
Yeah, that it is. 2-2. Both of them lined up very nicely here for Peppy. Meanwhile, we have a bit of a run by, but it will be dealt with. Those infestors are slowly gathering that energy. Meanwhile, Piglet goes deep into creep. Oh, is he overextending, or can Peppy even deal with this right now?
I honestly doubt if he can. This is just before Peppy has his Brute Lords out. As you were saying, the Infestors still need to build up their energy. They can throw down a couple of fungals, and that's about it. I mean, they don't have Neural Parasite now that it's being researched.
Yeah, honestly, it feels a little bit late. Not gonna lie for Peppy, so he will have a hard time cleaning this up. And Piglet, he gets a free base and will be able to back off. Thankfully, a lot of the drones were able to be saved here.
Free Corruptors!
Thankfully, the drones were able to be saved as they are being redirected over, and gets a free Thor.
It's something, you know. Those are relatively expensive when it comes to the mech army.
Oh boy, yeah, and Peppy just needs to buy a little bit more time for his upgrades to finish up before he can find a really nice engagement. He could find one here. Yo, the tanks are unsieged.
Oh. That they are. It's a bit of an awkward angle to engage in for both the defender and the aggressor. Peppy has to pull back, but the Brulings are getting in position. Okay, he doesn't want to tangle with all those swords or any of those BCs yet. But Neural Parasite is about to finish up.
Oh boy, yeah. Oh god, that it is. Meanwhile, we do have a couple of Yamatos coming out, targeting down those Broodlords. Meanwhile, a couple of tanks go down for free, but I mean, mate, he needs to refine his army.
I've seen Hellion run-bys. He does need to refine his army, in fairness. Yeah. On siege tanks, especially against Broodlords.
It's one of those things where you don't really want to just throw away units for free, but he also kind of needs to throw them away, so tanks did go down.
Yeah. I guess just getting rid of the units in general is value. But you do want to get some more value out of that. He is still continuing to build tanks, though. So... question mark.
Yeah, that he is, which is interesting to say the least, as we do have a little bit of a run by here. Another Thor will go down. What I'm concerned about, I think probably my biggest concern, thankfully we have a couple of Corruptors on the way, is that if he morphs in all his Corruptors into Broodlords like he has so far, like there's nothing to really contest against the BCs, so he does have to be careful.
And he does, but the Thors are scary. Especially when they target fire those Brute Lords as they want to do. Really good scan. And Piglet, he's just never engaging up this ramp. He knows that the Infestors are there, waiting to throw down their Neurals and their Fungals. He's being very, very cautious. You gotta appreciate that.
Oh yeah. Definitely, as that CC is taking a little bit of damage. You know, so far so good when it comes to these Broodlords just shelling away, containing his opponent. I say containing, Piglet is finally getting his 5th up and running. And with this 5th, like, again, this is a terrifying thought. Typically, you want to try and starve out the mech player. You don't want to let it get these expansions up and running. But unfortunately, Peppy isn't necessarily in position to stop this. He's trying to go for some run-bys, but...
Yeah, I mean, that's a golden rule, isn't it? Always, you know, just be richer. Forehead than your mech opponent. That is the secret to winning against mech. But as you were saying, Piglet, he just keeps getting more and more mining up and running, especially with all those mules.
Yeah, like, I mean, both players are maxed out, but Piglet is the one with a bank, which is the terrifying thought right now. Meanwhile, the Broodlords are pushing on forward. They're a little bit exposed, not gonna lie. Oh, some of them are getting focused down immediately.
Just like so. A little bit of damage done here. One planetary fortress will go down. The BCs, you know, they can't really be of much use in this fight, so now they're being utilized as a harassment unit, but now they teleport back in. I feel like this is a very unfortunate position. The Yamato's still land, though, on top of these Broodlords. That's Peppy basically all Broodlorded out. He only has 3 left. The neural parasites are helping out a ton. But is it going to be enough?
Not at all. The BCs make short work of the Broodlords as well as those Thors. There are only 2 Broodlords remaining here for Peppy, and oh god. The Infestors go down as well. This is what I was worried about. In the end, the BCs still survived. We have more BCs on the way, by the way, and Peppy, he dips hard in that army supply, and he does not have a bank to remake it.
Yeah, whatever resources he once had, he's just spent it all immediately. Piglet going full for the counterattack. He's maxed out, and Peppy is still struggling. He's got some Vipers now, which is nice. Is it going to be enough?
It's one of those things where the Vipers were necessary earlier in that big engagement. Vipers would have been huge. Blinding Clouds are so important when you go up against Thors, because Thors, they're clunky, they're slow. It takes them a while to get out of those Blinding Clouds. And without that DPS, Broodlords can reign supreme. But unfortunately, they were a little bit too late. And Piglet is moving on forward. He has this momentum. He has remaxed, mate.
That he has. Now, something that Piglet doesn't need, especially with how well he's been positioning his army so far, but would be nice to have to just round things out, some Ghost, mate. EMP all these clumped up infestors.
Hey, you want to give Peppy a chance, all right? Like, calm down.
True.
Oh my god.
That is true, though. Very nice spread of tanks here. The Blinding Clouds are not going to be enough. Some decent neural parasites, some very nice neural parasites, actually. Almost half of the army.
Yeah, exactly. And with these neurals, he will be able to hold on. He will be able to clean up this army. Oh my god. Peppy with that engagement. Problem is, he lost every single infestor doing that except for one, and he still lost his base.
Yeah, all in all, a much better trade for our blue Terran player. And Piglet, he's got plenty of production where that came from. Sure, Thors take a while to produce, but he's making 3 at a time.
Oh no, Peppy, please. This is what happens when you go late game against Piglet. This is what happens when you allow him to get these expansions up and running. He gets out of control, and oh god, Peppy is still struggling especially when it comes to the minerals to remake his army. He is making some infestors, and we saw him make magic happen despite being down almost 50 supply, but GG.
Not this time. Piglet going to be taking game number 1 in a manner that we kind of expect from Piglet, but we're also hoping not to see this early on. Like we knew it was going to happen eventually, right? This is kind of, I don't want to call it Piglet's bread and butter, but it's kind of this style that when he was really getting notoriety, this is what he was known for, at least in TVZ. But as you were saying, you know, we have seen a lot more diversity from him in recent months, and I fully expect that to come out in this series.
Well, I thought you were gonna be like, we've seen diversity, but now he's regressing. He's going back to his old ways. And to be fair, here it worked. You know, like it can be.
I feel
really,
like it may also be map dependent for
100%. Like honestly, it can be really difficult to deal with mech. We saw Peppy. He kind of had an okay composition with Broodlord Infestor, but we were mentioning it during the broadcast as well that he was missing Vipers, and by the time they came out, it was a little bit too late. That big fight happened, and ever since Peppy lost that first big fight, he didn't have the economy to really recoup his losses.
That he really didn't. Again, that golden rule of beating mech. Just be richer. Forehead.
Yeah, just
Peppy, unfortunately, was only 3 head.
Oh yeah, feels bad, man. Feels bad. But with that, I should probably update it on the screen right here. Right now, Peppy does take a lead in this series, but the series isn't over by any means here. This is still a best of 3, so Peppy has a chance to come back.
DT does.
Not gonna lie, I'm struggling to bounce between the names of Piglet and Peppy.
Oh, definitely. I'm glad you said it because I didn't want to look. I don't want to look foolish saying that first.
It's like, yo, I thought Pez and Peppy was bad, but
I feel like Pez and Peppy is but then again, Pez is only 1 syllable, whereas Peppy and Piglet both are 2 syllables. So
true.
Reading Pez and Peppy is harder than reading Peppy and Piglet. Saying Peppy and Pez is easier than saying Peppy and Piglet. I even have to break it up. I even have to be like Piglet, so it's not. So then you have at least 3 syllables.
Yeah. Oh god. But we'll see. We'll power through this. We can do it, Yaku. I believe. You gotta put your Singlish in the chat to the test, mate. It's
Oh, I just sent Steel Mold a Singlish song earlier today.
Oh no.
I didn't listen to it, but I listened to it when I was maybe 9 or something. But we are not 9. We are on Jagannatha, KBBLE. We're in the top right-hand corner of the map, spotting all the way to the top right-hand corner. We have the green Zerg player coming out from the land of that area around there. He is, of course, going to be representing Opus V. He is the best co-caster, Aussie co-caster. He is Peppy.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Jagannatha LE, we have the Australian Terran player representing Team Opus V, as well as this is a team kill currently up in the series. It is Piglet.
Jagannatha, you don't want to go mech on Jagannatha, do ya? But then again, maybe you do, because counterattacking is a little bit more difficult as a Terran player, so then you just double down on the mech. Really turtle up.
I'm thinking the exact same thing. I'm really worried. We're on Jagannatha? Really? Piglet? Oh god, no.
Who slipped this through the vetoes?
MJ, I saw you in the chat, MJ. What's going on here, buddy? Alright? Oh god. It could also be a thing where, especially when I look at the bracket, it could be a thing where Piglet is also conserving his energy because, mate, Ender is waiting in the next round for the winner of the series.
And I don't think Piglet even knows what he wants to do against Ender. I don't think anybody knows how they want to play against Ender. Piglet and Ender, they have played a couple of times in the past, and I remember when Piglet was first, really making waves in the region. He was like, how insane can Ender really be, right? I mean, there's got to be some logic to how he plays and whatnot. And to be fair, there is, but you really have to search for it.
You do. Oh boy.
Piglet, he's definitely, I don't want to say he respects Ender more, because he's always had that sort of respect for him, a bit of an old guard in the region, but he definitely is more careful when he faces him.
Well, it's one of those things where Piglet historically has had more issues with the Southeast Asian Zerg players, so it makes sense. It does make sense, especially if he's preparing for that later on. But of course, he still has to face his opponent in front of him here, and especially after game number 1, I'm sure Peppy has had some time to rethink his plan and reapproach how he's going to deal with something like mech if it comes out again.
Yeah, Peppy's definitely a very good player when it comes to adapting mid-series. That's what makes him such an effective co-caster. Because he analyzes what happened in the game much better than we can.
I love Peppy. He's a great guy. And I wish him the best here. We'll see how he does. We did have a 1-1-1 opener. Very interesting that we didn't see a switch for the starport here, instead prioritizing that tank instead of, say, a Banshee.
Yeah, no Banshees. He's only getting 2 Hellions to scout.
Oh my god.
It's not even going to be a 2-1 coming out from Piglet. Meanwhile, Peppy going for a very quick lair.
Oh, let's go. I kind of like this, not gonna lie. We'll see how committed he's going to be with this lair. I have seen some players just use this to go into fast baneling speed, but as we can see, there is no baneling nest at all. All gases have been taken. This should be for 2-base Spire, right?
I mean, it's gotta be, yeah. I was gonna ask, alright, are we feeling Spire or are we feeling Roaches? But Roachborn would be out right now if that was the case. It is a pretty good map for Roaches, not gonna lie. If you're playing a very aggressive style, but with all the gases being taken, with the baneling nest this late, it's gotta be Mutiling main.
There it is, a very fast Spire here, and honestly, this is great for Peppy. Like, thankfully, he didn't go up against a 2-1-1. I'm just gonna quickly check the vision here. Peppy actually didn't scout the main base at all, so he's being very greedy here in a way. But thankfully for him, like, there wasn't a mass amount of Hellions. Like, for map control, like, Piglet only ever made 2, so Piglet never had an opportunity to, like, maybe sneak in and maybe try and scout and sniff this out.
Yeah, with how he's been utilizing these Hellions, it almost feels like they're more for safety than anything.
Yeah.
He did send them across the map to confirm a 3rd base was being gotten, but then he immediately sent them back.
So Piglet is very much so in the dark right now, and Peppy is going to be getting away with this Spire. He's going to be getting away with this Muta play, so very nice decision making here by Peppy to go for this strategy. Meanwhile, Piglet, he's just getting his 3rd up and running. His production is getting up underway, but he doesn't have misstarts ready at all for this. Like, again, like, he just hasn't seen too much. The Viking gets across the map, but it's getting a snipe!
Oh, it's going, no! Ooh. I saw a sparkle of hope in that Viking's eye.
Yeah.
It was going right for that natural base. It was gonna get the most important scout in this game. But the Queens, man, shot him out of the sky.
Oh god, feels bad, man. And here we go. 7 mutas that they're going to be coming across the map. They're going to be zooming across that map to get into one of these mineral lines. We do have a lot of Marines. We do have some Widow Mines. Like, overall, I do like the army composition that Piglet is going for. This is going to work well against Ling Bane Muta. But I'm really worried because, again, if the mutas get out of control, like, they're going to slow down this push. They're going to hinder the economy. They could do a lot here.
The biggest thing I was worried about was that the mines weren't, you know, in the mineral lines.
Yeah.
Peppy, or Piglet rather, did load up his medevacs. The tank, super exposed, will be sniped. Not the biggest of deals here, as Piglet is going for more of a marine mine composition, but it's just a little bit less safety that Piglet has.
Yeah, and what just
He's
happened
that
is
much more vulnerable to Ling Rumbais and whatnot.
And what just happened is huge, because at the moment, Piglet, he wanted to go for a drop across the map. He wanted to hit with 1-1 as it finished, but he was forced to come back home. He was forced to defend. Otherwise, he would have lost so much more to those mutas. Already picking off a tank was huge for them. So now Piglet, he's stuck. Oh my god, the Widowites! Oh!
Oh, a very nice connection, and the Marines, as well as the missile turrets, will clean up the weakened Mutalists. The rest of them will have to, find a way to get back home, but they're trapped between a Marine and a Marine place.
Oh, God. Peppy was doing so well, and then suddenly he wasn't. Thankfully, Peppy isn't overcommitting into the mutas. He only made the initial 7, and he's switching completely, not into Lingbane, which is interesting, into Roach Ravager Lingbane.
Beautiful. That is exactly what you want against Widow Mines.
Yeah, exactly. Like, just relying on pure Lingbane, it is possible against Widow Mines, but it's also much more difficult, you know? Trying to bait out Widow Mine shots and being careful about where they are and all that stuff. Roach Ravager.
Split-second micro
Exactly.
maneuvers that you have to do with Lingbane.
Why make it hard on yourself when you can just bile down Widow Mines?
Like so. I mean, the Widow Mines aren't even a factor in this fight anymore. Stim is pretty good, as are bunkers. Really important that Piglet was getting that, but I tell you, Marines and bunkers, it's no Marauder tank when it comes to a defensive line. Peppy, I want to say should be able to smash this, but this is still a very defendable choke point for Piglet.
It is, but Peppy, he's going to be powering on through. He's going to be able to take down all these depots. The Widowmines, they're just going to go down left and right to these Biles. Oh, nice dodge with that final Widowmine. Oh my god.
Some of the best Biles I think you'll ever see on top of Bio Army.
Yeah, exactly.
The SCVs are trying to fight in this. They are unfortunately body blocks are not really acting as that buffer that Piglet wants them to be. Even if Peppy doesn't win now, he's doing such a good job of containing Piglet on 2 bases, but you never want to lift up the pressure when you're going Roach Ravager like this in the CVP.
And to be fair, Peppy has already dealt the damage that he needs to. Anything now is just a bonus. He could just straight up end the game. Peppy, he's almost maxed out. Meanwhile, Piglet is struggling to hover around 100 supply here as SCV after SCV is being picked off here. Piglet, he barely has anything left.
He's got 50 Marines and a dream, 50-ish Marines. No, I just realized these were slow Banelings. Well, I mean, doesn't really matter in the end. I was going to be like, oh, if they were fast Banelings, then, you know, he would absolutely win the game right now. But, I mean, the ball is still very much in Peppy's court, so the fact that these are slow isn't the biggest of deals.
Exactly. I mean, Peppy is up on 4 bases. There's no threat across the map. There's no drop. There's no harassment. There is nothing. Piglet is just struggling to survive on 2 bases. And so far, he's done a decent job, but you were talking about it. Bane's speed has finished up, and now Peppy, he can just crash on through. And I don't see any Widowmines, mate.
Nor do I. This Bioarmor is being backed into a corner. Very nice target firing, though, from the Marines, taking off the Banelings as much as possible, but it is starting to run out of steam. They are backed into a corner. A bit of body blocking there from the SCVs, actually tanking a couple of mine shots, keeping the Bio alive for about 2 more seconds. GG, Peppy ties up that series sideways 1-1.
GG, well played, Peppy, fighting back here. You love to see it, mate. We thought it was good, especially after game 1. I was worried. I was like, yo, are we gonna see a more one-sided series? Is it all going to be over? Nah, mate, Peppy fights back.
And he fights back hard. I love the tech switch from Mutas into Roaches. I mean, we were even mentioning it a little bit at the start of the game. You know, Jagannatha is a pretty good map for Roaches if you want to go that aggressive Roach style that Rogue popularized a while ago. You have those speed zones, you have a ton of choke points. You can contain the Terran player so well. Instead, he started with Mutalisks, and he did a really good job of just completely stifling Piglet's initial 1-1 push. From there, he realized, oh, you think I'm going Mutas, don't you? You probably want to go Marine Widowmine. Well, I got news for you, buddy. Marine Widowmine, they're amazing against Mutalisks. It would be a shame if I just never built Mutalisks again for the rest of this game.
Oh, God. It would be a shame, and it was a shame. Not if you're a Peppy fan, not if you're a Zerg fan, as... Yeah. Oh, God. At least we are going to that ace match. That is all I wanted from here. Oh, God. Again, it is hard to call, and it is a shame that one of them is going to move on, and the other, mate, their run is already over.
Yeah, bit of an unfortunate team kill there. Funara seeding. But speaking of team kills, I have a bit of an update for you, Light.
Go ahead, buddy.
Ares has taken out Erebus Black 2-1, and he's now facing Wario.
I did see that update. Congratulations, Ares. One of our Ducklings does take down Erebus Black. Shout out to Erebus Black. He's there in the chat. He's a big, long-time supporter of the channel and a massive community member in our Oceanic Australian scene.
Even before we really went ham on the casting and whatnot. The very early days of CWT Open and whatnot.
Yeah.
I feel like even before CWT Open.
He wasn't a part of the first SDOs, but he was around.
Yeah.
And yeah, we are going to be diving into game number 3. But yeah, I mean, I hope to see more of Erebus Black in the future qualifiers.
As do I. I hope he gets a better mustache too, better facial hair next time I see him. Can't compete with this.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Meanwhile, we're getting into game number 3. We are loading in, and it looks like the map. What are you on about, mate? What are you on about? God damn.
Get a better mustache, that's all I'm saying. As we conclude this best of 3 series here on Oxide LE, we're in the bottom left-hand quarter map, fighting all the way in the bottom left-hand quarter. We have the green Zerg player coming out from the land of that area, going for a 12 pool. He is going to be representing Opus V. He is Peppy. Peppy.
Let's go. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Oxide LE, we have the other player also representing Team Opus V. He's Australian. He's Terran. It is Piglet.
Double gas 12 pool.
Oh my, roaches?
What?
Roaches?
It's gotta be, right? It can't be a one-base Nidus.
No. There we go. Roach Warren is on the way. Peppy taking a page out of Go-Go Joey's book. As Go-Go Joey loves to do this, especially when he's up against Azure. Feels bad.
Oh, yeah. Looks like Chase wasn't the only ANZ player who... wasn't the only ANZ player who was excited when the Go-Go Joey versus Azure bots got published.
True. I think an important thing to note is that this is a lot more committed than what we normally see. Normally we see a pool first into an expansion and a roach warren just for a handful of roaches to deny the natural base, and get ahead that way, and you can drone up behind it and work on that follow-up push. But this is so much more committed off of one base.
It absolutely is. How good is Piglet's reactions going to be? Because he does send SCV. He sees that there's no natural base, and that is enough of a tell.
Well,
a bunker should be seeing a bunker somewhere, ideally on the high ground, but I don't know, maybe Piglet is a little bit... Well, maybe he's a little bit crazy. Maybe he decides, I can defend on the low ground. And I would be optimistic for Piglet.
So the problem is... Yeah, the problem is that Piglet, he scouts and he sees no natural, and with that, I don't know if he necessarily knows that it is roaches coming across the map. It could be,
he knows that something is coming his way, and he wants to be safe about it.
Yeah,
so
at least
taking this as seriously as possible.
Exactly, and at least he is taking his bunker on the high ground. It would be disastrous if it was on the low ground. It'd be insane. It'd be wild. It'd be crazy, and he would die. So thankfully, that is not the case here, as the Ravagers do reveal themselves.
Yep. Oh, lift up. Okay, now he raises the depots.
Yeah, the depots are still under threat by these Ravagers, though, as we do have high ground vision. The first depot does go down. Second could be under threat. Ooh, as the Reaper does get picked off.
Yeah, I really don't see Peppy doing much more than just supply capping Piglet. There's no way he can go up this ramp, right? Off that bunker.
Oh, no, he'll find a way.
Barracks.
Oh, the Rax almost goes down. Now there's very limited production right now. The bunker almost goes down as well. And I think what's very important to note is, again, Peppy isn't expanding behind this. He is all in. He's flooding across the map. He's making links behind this. He is looking to end the game.
He really is. And I was worried here for Peppy just because of that bunker placement, but in all fairness, that bunker also doesn't have a wall. He's repositioning his Ravagers, making sure that this one roach takes the bulk of the marine damage, and yeah, that's absolutely what you want to do.
Ooh.
Cyclone is now out! Bunker goes down, but the Cyclone is out. I feel like Piglet, has just enough to hold. He does still need to make sure that he's got SCVs under repair, that he's got his Cyclone as well positioned as possible.
Exactly. The Cyclone is going to be huge, especially because we have a second Cyclone on the way. There we go. Oh my god!
The breaks!
Oh, there we go. The Ravager goes down anyway, but the Ravagers have made it up into the main base. The Cyclone gets focused down. Again. Boys need to be fooled.
Yeah, once again, there's just no wall here, no bunker, nothing that can really stop these Ravagers. That Viking was meant to deal with the Overlord to prevent high ground vision, but now the Ravagers are giving the Ravagers high ground vision.
Yeah, and the Overlord is still there as well. Oh god, meanwhile 7 SCVs have gone down. Thankfully, we do have a Cyclone popping out just in time. Oh my god!
Oh, actually biles out the Viking, and these are moves that Peppy absolutely needs to do. He's trying to reinforce his army as best he can, but it's only a handful of roaches at a time. 7 SCVs, more than manageable right now for Piglet. He's still ahead in the worker count, and he can just continue to produce more. He's still on 2 orbital commands. And let me repeat that. Orbital commands. That means he also has mules behind this.
Oh yeah, exactly. He's fine economically, and it looks like Peppy is trying to transition. There we go. He droned up a little bit. He's looking to try and expand and take another base, and this is disastrous for Peppy. He's trying to pick up another Cyclone, but he just can't do it. The Cyclones, they just kite so well.
That they really do. If it was just one Cyclone, it would have been a little bit more manageable, but throughout, the contain, Peppy still had to wait for the roaches to make it across the map. Again, it was a 1-base hatchery all in here from Peppy, so no Galao reconstitution or anything. I feel like this is just about it. I really doubt Peppy's going to be able to transition out.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a hard position to transition out of. He wants to expand, but expanding now, it's just not. It's just
he doesn't have the minerals to expand.
He really doesn't. Well, even if he did, it's just not a good. It's just not a good position to be in. Oh god! As the final Ravagers are going down, now Piglet has 100% held. He scans, confirms that there's still only 1 base.
Man, Piglet doesn't even care about losing workers. He's sending them to fight. He could send his Cyclones across the map right now, and he does, and that will just about secure him the game.
Yeah.
He can do literally anything and still be ahead, but this is just making sure he takes a quick victory while he can.
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, there was no queen for those injects, so there's very limited larva to work with. Ling's speed isn't on either. Ling's would be great to defend against Cyclones, but again, he just doesn't have the numbers right now. And now Piglet, he's going across the map. We're going to end the game.
As I get the GG button ready. Piglet will take that team kill 2-1. Really unfortunate that they did have to face one another this early on. It was one of the closest series, arguably the closest series we'll cast this evening, Light. If only this was a best of 5.
Oh boy, if only, mate, if only. Aye. But GG, well played. Piglet does 2-1 Peppy and move on in the brackets. What I will say is that, Peppy, he did well, especially in game number 2, to make a series out of it. Yep. And he came prepared here in the ace match. Yeah.
Mind games, mate.
Unfortunately, here in the ace match, yeah. I don't know. It was an interesting build. He was dealing damage, but I don't know. I feel like it has much to be desired. I kind of prefer Joey's way of doing it, where you do expand behind it, and your goal is only
earlier on.
Yeah, your goal is only to deny the natural, right? And that's all. Meanwhile, Peppy, he wanted to just kill his opponent there.